March the 29th, 2001, and we are interviewing Mr. Santos Deliz in his home in San Juan, Puerto Rico, for the U.S. Latino and Latina World War II Oral History Project. Okay, Mr. Deliz, first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this project for us. It's very important for us that you are part of the project. So before we even start the interview, I really want to take the time to thank you. Your interview is going to be the first one that is done on a Puerto Rican, and that's really exciting for us and very important. So I really want to thank you for your time. I know that this has been a long process, but you're going to be a great asset to our project and to the whole documentary itself. And I just want to thank you before we start anything. Just thank you for helping us out with this project and making it a better one now. Like I told you before, the interview is going to be kind of chronological. We're going to go step by step till we get to the years of the war and then your war experience. But other than the war experience, we really want to know about you, about Santos, about you as a person. And we'll just take it as a normal conversation and we'll just take it chronologically. I think that's a good way to do it. So we're going to go ahead and start with you as a child in New York City and your family life. Maybe you can talk to us about your family life a bit. Any childhood memories growing up in New York City? I think it's the Bronx, right, that you said?
No, first it was in Manhattan. Then yeah.
Okay, so maybe you can talk to us about Manhattan and then the Bronx. But pretty much you as a child, what you enjoyed, what your relationship with your brothers and your sister was, stuff like that, just childhood memories that come back to you still now.
Well, you know, I don't know if I told you in the beginning that I was, when my mother died, my father couldn't take care of us because there was 5 of us. So, so we went to what you call an orphanage or a Catholic home to live. That's what they call it. It's usually an orphanage. They never called it an orphanage. They had another name for it, where you're under the nuns' cares, and there's maybe 3,000 or 4,000 other kids there, or something like that.
Okay. Do you even before going to the orphanage, do you remember anything before you went into the orphanage? Any maybe elementary school, maybe your friends before then?
Well,
how home was before then?
yes, I think I could remember.
Do you want to tell us anything about that?
Well, I used to live with my mother and father in Manhattan, in 112th Street. Was it 112th Street and Lexington Avenue? And well, I remember going to the store. You know, over there was. You go down flights of stairs because those are all tenants' houses. And you go to the grocery store across the street. Or there used to be on another place, 116th Street, they had a store where they sell apple pies, cheesecakes, and stuff like that. Remember that? What else? I lived also in next block, 150. That was 115th Street, 116th Street, where the first one of the apartments there that we lived in was with an elevator. The first time you ever see elevators, and that was in 1930, around there.
Any games that you guys like to play?
Well, I never used. Yeah, well, not at that time in the streets, no. But my brothers after played softball. Softball is with a rubber ball, not in the streets. Stickball. That's what they called it in Harlem now, stickball. That was with a broomstick. They used to cut the broomsticks and they hit the ball, the rubber ball, with the broomsticks.
Wow. You did that with your brothers?
Yes, with one younger brother at that time. And he was 1 year younger.
And what did you enjoy the most?
I don't recall too much on that. You know what I enjoyed the most. Going to the movies. The movies used to be 10 cents to go to see in the theaters over there at that time. And that's all. Go to school.
Go to school and movies. You want to tell us a little bit more about watching movies and any particular experience that you remember?
Well, I watched Hawk of the Hills. That was a movies that didn't talk.
Okay.
Hawk of the Hills, and what else was at that time? I don't remember the other ones. The other ones were a little after. It's, Tom Mix and stuff like that.
Okay. Do you have any special memories of your mom? I know she passed away when you were 8.
Yes, I remember when she went to work one time and she took me to a daycare center. That was near Central Park, and I stood there for the whole 8 hours, what they usually to do. That I remember just going there and coming back home at night. They used to take me there and pick me up. What else?
Any family memories that you have of that time, maybe?
Yes, my father had we have a cousin who used to go out with my father a lot, and my father had a car at that time. It's 1930, I think, around there. 1929, 1930. And as a matter of fact, I have a picture of myself with my father and my sister standing in front of the car. So it's in 1930, something like that.
So you did have family in New York?
Yes.
Did you have a lot of family gatherings or maybe lived close by?
They lived close by, blocks away or something like that. But there was very few Puerto Ricans there then. It was mostly Jewish. Jewish people, and further up Avenue were Italians. That's when they used to have a lot of jealousy, the Italians with the Puerto Ricans, because the Puerto Ricans used to take their girlfriends away.
Ah. Okay. Well, that's anything else you want to add about that time? I mean, I'm going to ask you a little bit of you already commented that you were in the orphanage you were in two different orphanages.
Two different orphanages,
right.
Right.
And maybe some memories that you have. I know we talked about it last time. Memories that you have about how strict the orphanage was.
Oh yes, that was very
maybe
strict.
You can talk to us about that. You can also talk to us about friends that you met there. Any memories? Anything you want to tell us about?
Well, the orphanage, as I told you before, they were very strict, and anything you do wrong, they used to hit you with a stick on your bare rear end, because they used to make you bend over and take up. Probably, this was in Mount Loretta, where I told you, Staten Island. That was the first store. And we were there for about 2 years or 3 years, something like that. My father had a big battle with the government when he took, they wanted him to pay at that time, I don't know if it was $6,000 or something, to get us out, to pay them, for our welfare while we were there. So he won the case, and he didn't pay anything. That's why at that time, and I think it was in 35, 36, 1935 or something like. We were in newspapers every day for about 2 or 3 months while he was battling in the courts until he won the case, and he didn't have to pay anything.
Did you have any friends in the orphanage?
Yes, but I don't remember.
Anything that you remember about the orphanage?
Oh, they were. I mean, and food and everything else like that, they were okay. You know, that you had your 3 square meals a day, and they were decent food.
What did you learn from being in the orphanage, if anything?
Well, discipline probably. They used to make you scrub the floors on your hands and knees. They used to make you pray a lot because it was Catholic, and that's all I could remember, more or less. Oh, we used to go swimming, you know, because we were near. It was in Staten Island, and they had right next to the home was the beach and everything else. We used to go there and swim.
So you decided to run away?
Not from that one.
Not from that one?
No, when I was older,
one?
when I was much older.
How was the next one?
The next one was in Peekskill, New York. That was upstate New York. And they were more or less not, not as strict as the other one, but you study everything, you know, and do all your work. And used to go to church every Sunday. And every day that they were supposed to go. They used to make us go a lot to church. That's something.
Okay. So you did decide to run away from that one?
Yeah, after I was there 2 years, I think. After 2 or 3 years, I ran away with somebody else. But as I told you, where was I going to go? I didn't even know. I ran away from the place, and I went to walk on the railroad tracks, and the railroad detectives picked us up, brought us back in. That's when we got punished. We had to scrub more floors and everything else like that.
Wow.
And I was much older. I think I was about 8, 9 years old, something like that. 9, maybe 10.
Okay. So when did you finally leave the orphanage?
I ran away.
Uh-huh.
Well, when I was about 12 years old, I think 11 or 12. My father, he wasn't going to go to court to get us out this time, and we were much bigger. So he went to visit us, and then I told that I was going to run away. So he says, "Oh, I'll wait for you outside." So one day, he waited for me, and I took off.
Were you happy?
Well, yes, I was free. Yes, and then after that, I started. I worked a little bit. I think I sold shopping bags in the market. There's a Park Avenue market, because they got a market there. It's about 10 blocks long, and they used to have all wagons there with food and vegetables and everything else like that. And they used to sell that. And I went there, buy shopping bags for a penny, and I sold them for 3 cents at that time. So I used to make 2 cents on a bag. Maybe I sell 10 bags a day. I don't remember that, but I know it was very little.
And you were living with your father at this time?
Yes. My father, let's see, I think he remarried then. And so I was living with him. And then my brother ran away after 6 months later, and we were together then. One of my brothers, the next one.
Okay. Well, at this time, you were probably maybe 16, you can say that? 15, 16, maybe younger?
At that time I was about 14.
14?
Yeah, because when I was 15, I went to the CCs, I think I told you.
Yeah, okay.
And
Before we talk about the CCC, I want to talk to you a little bit about Puerto Ricans in New York. I know you have mentioned there was some tension between the Italians and the Puerto
The
Ricans.
Puerto Ricans.
Maybe you can tell me about the community, the Puerto Rican community in New York City. Maybe any festivals that they had, any social organizations, any community centers maybe that served Puerto Ricans in New York. Anything that you can remember about that?
Community. The only thing I can remember about that they had, I've told you that too, the Casita Maria in 110th Street. And that's where they used to get a lot of Puerto Ricans together.
Mm-hmm.
That was all where we lived. They called it the barrio.
Mm-hmm.
That was all Puerto Ricans. It's like now the Bronx is full of not Cubans, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. Well, that's where, that was between Lexington Avenue and Park Avenue,
Okay.
Madison Avenue. That was all Puerto Ricans there. Because they all used to come in from Puerto Rico.
Was there any celebrations? No, was it? It was just a small community.
There were small communities. It wasn't celebration too much that I could remember. The only one I remember was the Casita Maria, where the Puerto Ricans had, they all gathered together and they celebrated in the streets and everything.
Did you participate in any of those functions?
Oh, I used to
Casita
go,
Maria?
yeah. Yes, I used to go there. They used to have parties and like that.
Some good music and good food.
Yeah. Well, food I don't remember, but they probably did.
And okay. So you think that the Puerto Rican community at that time in New York was a united one, you could say?
Well, it was united because the Puerto Ricans were spreading out a lot. The only thing is that the Puerto Ricans had fights after with the Jewish people.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
Well, the Puerto Ricans were taking over in all the stores and businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jewish community got mad and they started riots. Puerto Ricans with the Jewish people.
I know that you were very young during this time to probably feel anything, but did you get a sense of animosity between the cultures? Definitely.
No. That was the older people, the older people that used to have fights and arguments and that stuff.
You had your friends. What kind of group of friends did you have then?
I didn't have much friends. No, just relatives. Young kids that just that lived there. They were cousins and.
So anything that you did as for fun, let's say, was with your relatives, with your cousins and your brothers?
Well, the only thing I could tell you is we used to go to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go to Coney Island. Maybe a group of us would take the subway up to Coney Island. That was a couple of hours away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, right now I just want to ask you if you could just speak a little bit louder so that we can just make sure that we don't have any problems with audio later. But I think now we're ready to talk about the CCC, which was a Civilian Conservation Corps.
Right.
And you said you were 16 or 17.
No, I was 15. The only thing is that I was supposed to be 17 to get in there, and I gave an older brother that had died when he was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
His name and his age. He was, I think, a year and a half older than me. And so I was actually probably 15 years of age.
What made you decide
Well, they used to
to
give
go?
you pay you $30 a month. They put away $23 out of the $30 used to give you $3 a month, and you sign up for 6 months. Then, if you wanted, you could sign up for another 6 months. Renew it. So
Was all that money for you, or were they mailing money home? Do you
no,
know?
that was for me. They
Okay.
they saved that for me.
Okay. And you
At,
signed up.
at that time, most of the Puerto Rican people were on welfare.
Hmm.
Remember, and that's why they had this here CCs or whatever it.
All those New Deal programs that
Yeah,
Roosevelt.
that was New Deal programs, right?
From Roosevelt. Okay, so you were sent to Oregon. You told me. With this
Yeah,
assistant?
Oregon, state of Oregon.
You want to talk to us a little bit about your duties?
Well, when I went in there, we went on a troop train. I think it was about a 9-day trip
Wow.
on a train, and we went to the camp. They took us to the camp. That was camp. Geez, I used to know the name now. I forgot. And that's where they give you your clothes. Oh, they had given you the clothes before. That's where they give you the bedding and everything else like that. And they assign you to duty what you were going to do. That time I was going to, in the beginning, I was picked out for fire duty. They're putting out sagebrush fires and, forest fires, the same thing, more or less. And building roads.
I think you had some welding too.
Well, that was after.
Okay.
Yeah, after, then I went into KP, kitchen.
Kitchen police.
Yeah, KP is kitchen police. Did I had to wash dishes maybe for about 2-3 days. Then after that I got to peel potatoes and do a little bit of cooking. So I learned a lot about cooking. In the next 4, 5, or 7 days that I was in the kitchen. But after that, they put me in blacksmith. I had a friend that was he was in the blacksmith, and he told me about it, and I went to and asked to see if I could get in there. Blacksmith was he used to get the shovels and straighten them out, heat them up and straighten them out. The picks.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned how to what do you call it, sharpen picks, mattocks. Mattocks is another thing, like a pick. They used to use them to chop sagebrush for the fires. Yeah. Well, that was the blacksmith's duty.
Did you guys have any free time at all?
Well, the first day that I had a free time, it was a month later, we went to town, went to the movies, and then when we got out of the movies, we missed the bus that takes us back to camp, so we started a hitchhike.
No.
And we couldn't get a lift, so we thought of, there was 5 of us, we thought, well, what about one guy lays down on the road, stops the car, and, to take us to camp, but he's sick. So we did that. We stopped the car that came, and the woman instead, she went back and she called the police, and the police came and picked us up, took us to jail for that one night, and to sleep in the whole group. I don't know, I've seen other fellows that was there from the camp too. Maybe it was 25 of us in the jail.
Wow.
So the next day, the company commander went down and picked us up, because they call them up, we got a bunch of you fellas here, to send a truck down there to pick us up. That's what happened. That was the first and last time that I went to town, because I said, gee, I ain't gonna miss a bus. But you missed it because we got out late probably. I don't know. I know that the bus went early. They tell you be there at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night. You gotta be. But that happens all the time in a service. A lot of other places happens. You know, you get loose buses. And
Did you meet any other Latinos in the CCC or no?
yes, there was quite a few. Maybe there was 100 of us there, I think. So there must have been Puerto Ricans might have been about 25 to 30.
Can you say that those groups would kind of always hang out together, or you just
No, no, they were separate because we were. I don't remember, you know, too well about that, but I know that we weren't together all the time. We just make friends with maybe 2 or 3, and that's the only.
okay? And what did you learn from the CCC?
Well,
It was very military style, or
yes, military style. I learned a lot because I learned how to swim. Not how to swim, how to be first aid. And everything else like I learned how to put out fires. That's another thing. And went saw rattlesnakes, killed rattlesnakes, and what's the other, coyotes. Was that and every night all you hear is the coyotes howling because we were out in the wilderness actually.
so after 6 months you didn't sign up again?
No, I didn't sign up again because $3 a month that they used to give you. Okay, you got the whatever it was, 200 and some odd dollars after when you got out. And with that, I started to buy things and repair. Like I used to buy irons, you know, secondhand that were damaged or something like that, and I repaired them and then I sold them. I used to do things like that.
Okay. So your time, 6 months were up at the CCC, and you decided to go back to New York City?
Yes, went back. And I went back home. And then home I used to go to, I got work there after that. Yeah, I worked in a book factory, I think it was, Catholic book factory. And I used to bind books. I learned how to bind the books and stack them up to be glued. I worked there for about 3 years. I got my brother in there also. He worked there, but he had an argument after with one of the owners, and he quit. So I stood there another year after that, and then I don't know. I used to work weekends. I also used to work weekends in nightclubs.
Really? Tell me about that.
Well, they used to. You go to an agency where they have like jobs, job agency, and they for $1, maybe 75 cents, you pay. They send you someplace to work for that day. Extras, what they call extras. The restaurants, nightclubs, they wanted extras for that night, so they pay you probably. I think you used to get $3 or $4 a night, and that, you know, at that time was a little bit of money. Now it wasn't. I used to go over to Jersey, from New York over to Jersey. A lot of times I used to walk across the the George Washington Bridge, because it was from one side to the other, and it was a long walk. But most of us used to walk it to save the money.
Yeah. I know that you pretty much had to work to just make a living and survive, but is there, at this point, you were pretty much really getting close to being 18, 19, or 20, right? How was your social life as a teenager, as a young guy in New York City?
Yeah, well, my social life was going out. I had a lot of girlfriends, and we had friends that had cars. They used to pick us up and take us different places.
What was your favorite thing to do in New York City, if you can remember?
At that time, Well, I used to go to Coney Island. That was one.
Coney?
Movies. Uh, Dancing, I didn't go too much to dancing because I didn't care for dancing at that time.
Okay. Well, by this time, I think it's already 1940 and the war had begun in Europe. And I know that the U.S. was still not involved, but from maybe reading newspapers or from listening to the radio, did you have any opinion on the war, or was it something that was maybe not something important because it wasn't a home issue, a USA issue yet?
Well, yeah, we had thinking about it because we knew we were going to go to war, more or less, because they started calling up reserves, stuff like that, and training them. So they started the factories with for working for the government, like say making bombs, making not the bombs, casings and stuff like that, because you didn't make the bombs there. They used to make the casings. I learned how to work certain types of machines. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I told you that I went to the Brooklyn Navy Yard to get a job. It was hard to get a job in Brooklyn Navy Yard because everybody, they paid very good, and you had to have a lot of experience. So, from the other place that I was working, I told them that I knew how to operate a milling machine, and they took me right away for a milling machine. Then when I was going to start to work 2 days later, when I looked at the machine, I saw a big machine. I said, "What the heck is this? If I ruin one little teeter, that machine is it." So I didn't go. I didn't go for the job. They gave me the job, but I didn't go in because I got scared.
Can you tell me a little bit about those years? Maybe I know that's past the Great Depression and stuff, but how was life during those years, like the pre-war years for the U.S.?
Pre-war years for the U.S., a lot of Puerto Ricans were going to the States, and then we had. I used to meet the ships, Marine Tiger. They used to have one ship was the Marine Tiger, and the other one was I just remember the name, but I forgot. The Marine Shark was the other one. And I had some family that were coming up, and I used to meet them. They used to bring bags of sugar because sugar was rationed in New York at that time.
Yeah.
And it was hard to get sugar. And La Aduana, the immigration.
I think that's called customs. Maybe?
Customs, yeah. They used to take them away from them a lot of times. So some people used to get mad and they ripped the bags up and show, "Here, you could have it now," and they throw it on the floor to Puerto Ricans. Because it wasn't right to take 5 pounds or 10 pounds away from you.
Yeah.
That's why I used to do that.
Do you remember anything else being rationed during that time?
There was a lot of stuff that was rationed, but I don't remember. More, I remember about the sugar. And coffee was rationed a little bit. Not too much, but it was rationed.
Okay, and I think you also had a job at the Northeastern Manufacturing Company.
Yeah, that's the one I learned how to work a milling machine or something like a milling machine. It probably wasn't.
Did you want to talk to us about that job at all? Anything?
Well, no, there's nothing in there because I used to go to work there every day for about maybe a year, 2 years, I think, just before I went into the service, just when I was called in. And I don't remember too much. I know that I was saving money and I used to go out more often because I had the money to go. to go out. You know, I used to make the money, go out with girls and everything. I used to have a lot of girlfriends at that time. I wasn't a hick. So I considered myself, you know, doing very good because I worked, I had money.
You're on your own.
I'm on my,
independent,
yeah,
young.
young. And then my father bought a house in the Bronx and I went to live with him. We all went to live in a house there. And from there, that's when we went into the service, maybe
Yeah.
6 months later.
You were drafted in 1943. I think that's what I have in my papers.
1943, I think
You
I
were
was
20 years old.
20 years old. I was
20.
older.
20 years old, pretty young. What were your feelings about being drafted?
No,
Did you think Did you think you were gonna get drafted, or?
oh yeah, I knew because my brothers all volunteered for the Navy. So I was going to go. I was going to go with them after to volunteer for the Navy. Well, what happened was that I was too short. You know, the Navy had a certain height, and I started to think, and I said, nah, let them pick me up from the Army. So I got. I tell you, I was married then.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I got married, and she double-crossed me the first week that we were married. And then she called the draft board, and the draft board inducted me.
Do you know why you had preferred the Navy instead of the Army? Was it because of your brother?
Well, I won because of my brothers, yeah, because they went in, and the Navy, at least you visit the States every time, you know, but in the Army, you don't know where you were going. I know we were going to Europe, but we figured that at least you get back into to the States every 3 months or every 6 months. But in the Army, once you're over there, you don't know if you ever get back, which was true.
So you were drafted, and were you? I mean, I don't want to say scared, but what were your feelings then? I mean, you got drafted into the Army, right?
No, I was happy. Yeah, I wanted to go.
You did?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Well, everybody else was going, so I wanted to go. Figure out
Did you
that
think it was your duty, or did
I thought it was my duty naturally. That was one thing.
what did you think about the war then? About everything that was happening in Europe with?
Well, we were against the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
And then what the Japanese did, that was something very, very bad, a sneak attack on Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't know. I know that I had been in Camp Dix before. When I went to the CCs, I went from Camp Dix. So I was used to it. I already had, gotten used to all that. And then from there, we went to Boston. I don't remember the name of the place where we went in Boston. I forgot. But that's where we were training there. And then we were there about 3 months, and then we went overseas.
Okay. So you did basic training like everybody does in the Army?
Yeah,
You said in Boston?
in Boston, yes.
Okay. Was there
There was a camp over there in Boston, an Army camp where you did boot camp and
Did
everything.
did they train you, because I know that you were kitchen police in the Army? Did they train you for that?
No, I was being trained for telephone linesman. And telephone linesman was had to climb poles, and put up telephone lines. And when I went on a pass, I told you that I went AWOL.
Mm-hmm.
I stood 10 days or 12 days or extra. They gave me when I went back voluntary. I tell you, I went AWOL. I didn't have no money to get back.
Yeah.
And I was,
That
afraid.
was still when you were in basic training.
In basic training.
Okay.
And I was I was, afraid that they're going to pick me up anyway. The MPs would have picked me up, and I didn't have no pass. So I went back voluntary and got in. They gave me a summary court martial, which is not. They got just company come in. They just said you're going to do the KP for 30 days. So KP was supposed to be wash dishes, the pots and pans and stuff like that, peel potatoes. Mm-hmm. That's what kitchen police was. And I did a few days, but the mess sergeant was a very good friend of mine's. And naturally he says, oh, I'm going to make you a cook. And first, the mess sergeant before him was an old timer. He must have been there 10 years or something in the service. And he was a drunker. And he used to make us all chip in on Saturday. Wow. So he could buy booze. And then, so one Saturday we watched him while we gave him the money. And we told, at the gate, we told military police that he was coming in with something, liquor. And they made him open his trunk. And they found the liquor in there, bottles of liquor. You're not supposed to have liquor in the base. Mm-hmm. And he was transferred. So my friend got the job as a mess sergeant. That's when, and I was
doing your duty.
Yeah, and then I became a second cook. After that, that was a corporal rank at that time, second cook, and I think that's right. Second cook. Anyway, we went overseas with that rank as a second cook.
Okay. What were you thinking when you were getting ready for overseas? Let's go?
Let's go, yeah. Just go. I mean, the government owns you. There's nothing you can say and do. The government really owned you. And to me, it didn't bother me at all. Because we were on a ship for, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks, going to Africa. Yeah. And we had the German submarines following us. And all you hear every once in a while, the destroyers throwing the ash cans, those were to knock out the submarines. I didn't see any submarine, though. They never showed up. But they were down there under the water.
Oh, sure. How was your experience getting to Africa?
On a ship?
Your feeling?
I tell you, that was the worst trip that I ever, because the ship at night, it was too hot. And there were bunk beds, like
one right on top of the other.
Yeah, one on top of the other, made of wood. They were temporary beds. And so one night, the second night, I says, well, I'm going to go up in the top deck and sleep up there, I took my blankets up there and everything else. And then what happened was that the ship, at night, they blow their stacks. That means all the soot and polvo, the black soot, they throw it out at night. I don't know why at night, maybe. And instead, a lot of it fell on top of all the guys that were sleeping on the deck. So in the morning, we were all black. So I didn't sleep up there no more. No. And until we got to Africa, that was, I think, Algiers. I think it was when we. Algiers.
Did they give you any more training in Africa?
Yeah, well, we got training over there for. We were training for the invasion of southern Italy. And we had Patton as our commander, overall commander down there. And training was that you had to get used to drinking water out of Lister bags and digging foxholes and stuff like that. That was a waiting period until all the troops were there. Then they went on the invasions.
Can you tell me a little bit about, at this time you were a cook already?
Yeah, I was a cook, yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about rations? I know there's C rations,
C rations. We had C rations, D rations,
all those rations.
and the
Maybe,
other
maybe just maybe explain them briefly, or
C
maybe
rations were small cans of meat, or you used to get, I don't remember if it was 6 cans or 9 cans a day, three for each meal, and you used to get your bag of Lister bag with coffee that you make coffee up,
Mhm.
and you get a can of milk. We used to put milk in it. Lister bags were with what was the water. You know, I used to have Lister bags with, and the bags would have water, purified water there, or they used to give us stuff for the water to
To purify the water.
Atabrine tablets. They used to give us for malaria. Another thing, we had to drink Atabrine tablets every day.
Okay.
And
Okay, we were talking about rations and the procedures that were going on in Africa so that you guys would stay healthy. How does it work? Explain it to me very. I mean, I could say briefly, but in your pretty much in your own terms. When you set up camp, the soldiers get full meals.
yeah,
Not unless you're on the front line, they get those type of rations, or
well, we all everybody carried some rations because you were going on the front line. But we always find a camp where we set up maybe a month in that camp, then we move on again. It all depends how the front lines are.
was it? Basically, it was a camp. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was a camp that you guys set up in the, like in the middle, not in the middle of nowhere, but out in the open. It wasn't. Was it a? It wasn't a type of fort or anything like that.
No, what it was, if it was in a town, well, sometimes we would get a house or a castle or something like that, and we would set up there. That's when it's near big towns, big cities. But near forts or anything like that, they used to have these pill boxes. The Germans build a lot of pill boxes. Sometimes we take over pill boxes and live in them. That's a pill box is a round box, and you have you put your stove in there and put everything else to cook for the guys, or sleep in them. Some of them. Or we used to dig foxholes. We lived in the little houses, like we used to make ourselves foxholes, like a small room, a whole room like this. Maybe 4 or 6 of us would have put up our cots and everything else and sleep in there, months at times. And if we were like in the Anzio beachhead, every night there was all you hear was shells flying over your head and ammunition dumps going up. And you used to be, I'll tell you the honest truth, I was scared.
Yeah, I bet.
All of us. I told one time I don't know if I told you, I was underneath the butcher block or something.
Mm-hmm.
I got in there in the kitchen. I went underneath it because everything was moving. All of a sudden, a colonel come over and he said, "Move over, get out." I told him, "I'm not getting out. This is mine." And I didn't let him get in there. But because he wanted to be safe, he didn't care about me.
Yeah. So you experienced a lot of war, like on the front line. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you were a cook, but
We were cooking the front lines
all the time.
all the time. Yeah.
How do you get supplies out there and stuff?
Well, they used to bring them in trucks, and they pass by with the supplies, leave a certain amount here and there. Or if we needed them, like I had to go from the Anzio beachhead on a landing craft back to Naples from Anzio to pick up supplies because we were running out of them. And I picked them up and took them back in. But it was regular to bring it in. They always, that was one thing that the Americans, they had the Air Force. They used to drop them too.
what was your relationship with the other soldiers?
Oh, we all had good relationships. We all talked about going home. We never talked about dying. It always was,
Did you get letters?
yes.
You got
I used to get a lot of letters because a lot of people that wrote to me I never knew. But I used to write to them back sometimes. As a matter of fact, I got one now that I got last month from somebody that said that they had received a letter from me from the war, and they wanted to, and they found my name in one of the magazines or something with the address over here. So they wrote to me.
Wow. And that's when you were overseas. That's when you met the other soldiers from Texas that you mentioned.
Yeah, that was when we were coming home.
That's when you were coming home.
Yeah.
Okay, we can wait on that then. I have from your war papers that you showed me last time for battles and campaigns. I have Central Europe, Naples, Africa. I have Rome, Southern France. I pretty much want to talk about your experience in the different areas. I remember you had said about Patton coming in to check the kitchen. That should be a good experience. I think you should talk about any experience that you remember vividly. That, I mean, war has an effect on a person, but just maybe we can talk about the front line and what your experience was in the front line. I don't know. You want to start Africa? How? I mean, if you want to go back.
No, in Africa, there wasn't too much, very little.
Okay.
But it started more or less after Naples. What I wanted to do was I wanted to look for some papers and find out the different towns that I was in. Mm-hmm. I think I have some paper, maybe newspapers, clippings also from that time. And I'm going to see if I can put them all together. And then I have a lot of addresses of the German people that I used to,
What did you think of you in Europe now, of how things looked in Europe because of the war? Did that cause an impression on you?
No, because when you say it would cause an impression on me, the Germans were very smart people. And what I couldn't understand, why they went to war to people. They could have stopped it. What? Because people were very smart, and you talk to every one of them. They used to think that the Germans were the finest, the strongest people in the world because of Hitler, and that nothing could touch him. And when we went to, let's see, it was the first time I encountered Germans. But I was in Marseille, just when we went in the invasion of southern France. And I don't know, I told you that a lot of Germans come over to me and they surrendered. I think it was about 30 of them, and I took them in. I don't think I had ammunition in my rifle, but they weren't. It wasn't an interest to get killed because they just wanted to get out of the war, and they were hungry. And I took them to a camp where they told me, to take them. So they started feeding them, and I was hungry, and they said they didn't have any rations for us. They just had for the prisoners. And I said, Jesus, I haven't eaten in about 8 hours already. I'm hungry. So after a while, arguing and everything else like that, they gave us something to eat. But their rations were for the prisoners. That's something about the Americans, that this is for them, this is for the other, so that they know what they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, how does it work? You were a cook, but you did receive training
Oh
for
yes,
frontline
that
battles.
was the same thing. We were frontline cooks. When you say frontline cooks, we had to cook on the trucks, going into from one town to the other. We on the trucks you cook and have it ready for the fellas. When you get in there, uh, everything was done on. We would wasn't that we were trained to. We're supposed to know how to cook because I was supposed to have gone to cook school. I didn't go. I played hooky in the cook school. Yeah, I used to play hooky. I
Was that
didn't
when you were before the army?
in the army.
In the army?
Yeah, they used to roll the beds back, and they give them. They were teaching us, different things and stuff like that. And I used to roll the bed back. I would be in the back sleeping, something like that. I didn't want to hear because we knew what was going on. But that was a mistake for me because I would have come out with a higher rank than if I had studied. But I didn't.
Did when you were in the front line in Europe, did you ever interact with any civilians?
Yeah.
What was your experience with talking to the civilians?
Talking to them, fraternizing with them, going out with the girls.
Okay,
Yeah,
you can talk
everything.
to us about that.
Oh yeah, we used to go out.
I'm glad to hear that there was a social life for them.
Oh yeah, well, there was social life for us, as for the ones that could get away.
How did you get away?
Well, cooks used to get 1 day on and 1 day off. So I used to have 1 day off. I didn't have to go into cook or do anything, and I'd take up maybe the party where we were stationed, or where the camp was built. There was people around us, and I used to go out with the girls. As a matter of fact, I have letters there from Germany, from some of them that I used to go out with, even pictures.
So when you would go out for parties and stuff over there, it was mainly with other cooks that had the time off, or soldiers went out too.
And soldiers went out too. Yeah, everybody had it. His. I mean, when you see, we couldn't leave sometimes the area. No, because to go out recreation would be a truck would have to take you out to a town that's not occupied in the rear. We're in the front lines, so. But we used to make friends with the people in the front lines because there's a lot of houses, private houses and stuff like that. I don't know if I told you that I used to go to a house to play cards. They used to play the girls and myself and another fella. SWATs. That means that you get painted in the face with suit if you lose playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden we heard marching outside. Boots was Germans coming in because they were in the line. We were right in the city too. And that's when we got scared. And the girls says, come on. There was a big box that they used to have. And with blankets in there, and they put me in there. Ooh. They came into the house, and since there were young girls there, and they start talking to them in German, I got along with the Germans, with their language.
You could understand it?
Oh yeah, Italian. In Italy, I used to be the interpreter for the outfit. In Germany, I used to be the interpreter.
How did you pick up those languages?
Very easy. I don't know, but I picked them up very easy.
From the girl?
From the girls, some, yeah. Oh yeah.
So wow, okay.
Well, and I understood what they were talking, and naturally, I thought I was going to be captured, and then I would have gotten into a lot of trouble. I knew that. But
what did they say?
oh, they would search. They searched the house. They didn't look in the box. And the box was so hot because it was a blanket that they threw on top of us. It was
How
two of
many
us,
of you? Two of you?
two of us. And they left. You hear them marching away. And I got out of the box and I says, well, we'll see you tomorrow. I didn't come the next day or I didn't go back there for a week because we heard the tanks and everything were around there. We were shooting at the tanks. And I said to myself, oh, it seems like the Germans, pretty near now again. And then all of a sudden, I think it was after the third or fourth night, no more. We didn't hear them anymore. That's when they were running, retreating. Patton had just come in. So he had a bunch of soldiers with him, naturally. Because we had 90 millimeters. We were actually anti-aircraft guns. We used 90 millimeters against the tanks. So we had 4 90 millimeters in our camp. And I don't know if you know, 90 millimeters of shell from here about this high. Big thing. And they were actually they were for the planes. But we'd use them for the tanks. And we didn't hear anything until we broke out from there. We started marching into the Battle of the Bulge.
Tell me about that.
Well, that I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Because that was the breakthrough, where the Americans broke through to the River Kwai. The River Kwai, no, that other river. I was thinking of Japanese, the River Kwai, the picture.
Well, before we talk about I'll make a note for the Battle of the Bulge. Tell me about your translating with Italian and German.
Well, I used to talk to the Italians. I used to get along with the Italians.
And you picked up the language quick?
Yeah, I picked up the language because Italian sounds a lot like Spanish. German sounds a lot like Jewish, like sprechen Sie Deutsch, or you say Fräulein. Wollen Sie Kosch? No, I want to say that word. Wollen Sie promenade avec ich heute Abend? I asked her if she wanted to walk with me tonight. Or ich viel liebe dich, I love you very much. Or
They're important phrases.
yeah, they're very important phrases, all of them. Voulez-vous coucher avec? No, that wasn't it. That's a French.
That's French.
Yeah, because I understand too also French.
Wow, was it the Jewish you kind of picked up from living in New York? Or?
No, that I picked up in Germany because the Jewish sounded like the Germans a lot of words.
And how did you pick that up?
I picked it up talking to the Germans, talking to them. The Italians, well, a lot of it sounds a lot like Spanish, but I didn't know any Spanish. But I picked it up. Also, French, well, I went to school and I took the French language a little bit.
In high school?
In high school.
Okay.
But the German was the one that got me because I used to like to go out with the German girls. They were beautiful girls. They're very, what do you call, intelligent. That's all I could say.
Wow,
I couldn't read German. No, I couldn't. I used to get mail from there. I can't read it. I don't understand nothing.
But they understood English?
Yeah, they understood right away, yeah. Well, they wanted chocolate. You give them chocolate, candy, and stuff like that.
Well, tell me about when Patton went to your kitchen.
Well,
where were you then?
I was in the kitchen, and he was in. It was in the front lines. I'm thinking it's Alsace-Lorraine. That's where the town that I hid in the box. He went in to inspect, check up on us, and he went in with his 2 guns, you know, white pearl handle guns, and he come in a tank, and I tell you that he scolded me because I had rations over the amount that I should have had. Was it the truck drivers? I tell you that I saved their lives, 7 or 6 of them, and they used to hate me in the beginning, but then after I saved their lives, they when they were when a shell dropped into their foxhole, they were all buried, and I heard the screams, and I started hollering out to the other ones, "Come with me!" And we all run, you know, made them all come with me, and we pulled them out. So after that, they used to bring truckloads of rations and stuff like that. They used to pick up and bring them to me. And you know, but before that, they had stuck me up with a rifle. I had my hands up in the air. And they said that I was selling the food in Italy, which was not true. It was food that I had dumped. The GIs didn't want it, you know. Instead of dumping it in the garbage can, I had them dumping a little bit in there. And sometimes I used to give it to the people that were around there. And they held me up and said I was, you know, selling the food. So the captain asked them, "What was it?" They used to Sandy, "What the?" And I said, "Well, instead of dumping it in the garbage can outside in the front, I said, dump it in here and give it to them." So he could have court-martialed me if he wanted to. And he says, "Oh," I told him, "Well, you guys don't want to press any charges against Sandy." And they didn't press any charges.
What was your impression of Patton?
Well,
had you seen him before?
Huh?
Had you seen him?
Yeah, I seen him in Africa once.
Oh, okay.
And he was a nice guy. I liked him. He was a nice guy. He was a tough guy. He didn't take any bull from anybody. Like, you know, a lot of officers used to think, you know, they didn't like him. But he liked to go to the point, right? You know, he wanted to beat the Germans up.
Did he ever talk to the troops you were with, or?
Yeah, he talked to us once. Yeah, he was. He talked to the troops a lot, though. He talked in Africa when I forgot what the regiment was. I had said it in there. I think it was 101st or something like that. That they were all running around crazy, tearing up place, and he went to the corner. He got them all back together again because they were getting restless. The 101, I think it was. I'm not sure what regiment it was.
I think I have written down.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to talk about any specific battles that you remember?
Well, you see, the battles that we had, we were like behind the infantry, I think, because we never saw too much soldiers in front of us, but they were sometimes. The 90 millimeter shells used to go over their heads they used to shoot them for about 30 miles, I think it was, or 20 miles. Well, naturally, you had to be way in the rear to shoot them cannons off, or 90 millimeter guns. And the times that we did see action was throwing some few grenades or something like that. When at nighttime, when we moved into an area, we didn't know that they had scouted the area in the daytime, and then they sent us in to move in at night and put up our tents and everything else. And when we found out in the morning that it was Germans all around us, we had to get out of there so fast and quiet. Good thing it was about 5 o'clock in the morning when I got up, and all the fellas told them, "Look, we're in German lines." Or something like that's what we. And there was a pillbox right in front of us. We weren't back. But when you say that hand-to-hand fighting, no, nothing like that.
There was fighting all around you.
Yeah, there was fighting all over. You see the shells flying overhead and everything else. The only other time that I remember something that was bad, that night we got into a town, and we found a house that was empty. So I was tired. We were all sleepy. So the fellas all went to sleep, downstairs. I went upstairs because we didn't see anybody. And I lay down upstairs, but we couldn't see. It was so dark. In the morning when I woke up, there was 5 Germans dead around me. They had been killed the day before. Well, I don't know. They were eaten, something like that, or something, an explosion of a shell or something killed them. And right away, I ran downstairs. I told everybody else. So we got out of there quick because that meant that there might have been, but it was the Americans that killed them. Mm-hmm. There was a paratroopers probably went in there. I don't know.
Did you have any contact with your family while you were out there?
No.
No letters from family?
Yeah, once in every 6 months maybe I might have gotten a letter from my family. I used to get one. Our girlfriends used to write to me. Yeah, I had a lot of girlfriends, but one of them was telling me, "Look, you haven't mentioned anything about marriage or anything like that. I have somebody here who wants to get married with me." So I wrote back and told her to get married. And she did. Then she found out that he was married.
He was married already?
Yeah.
I know it's hard sometimes to think about memories, but any other battles before we move in? We're moving closer to the end of the war.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to add about?
I think I told you about the Anzio beachhead that saw the Rangers that were killed.
You can talk to us about that.
Yeah, but I had
mentioned it.
Yeah, we found when I went out at a range, from the camp, and started walking towards hills or caves, and I saw a lot of colored people, fellow soldiers. I thought were colored soldiers, and they were all Rangers that turned black because they were all ambushed. I think it was, I don't remember, it was 1,000 Rangers.
Wow.
That was the Americans' fault. They walked into a trap, 2,000 of them. And their stomachs were bloated. That meant that they were dead in quite a few days, maybe a week, 2 weeks. And I thought they were colored fellas, but they weren't. They were all white, just that they turned black, stacked up in the cave. I guess they stacked them up to later bury them or something like that, but they couldn't get them out.
Yeah. I think it was the quartermasters that were,
I don't know which.
It was their due. I think the quartermasters had to take care of all of that.
Oh, the burying them and everything else, yeah.
Yeah. All of that is just amazing. How much you saw when you were in war. What were you thinking at this point? You knew. Did you have information of what the advance that the U.S. was making?
Oh yeah, because we used to get the Stars and Stripes, the newspaper, and it'll tell you maybe you get it 2 days late, 3 days late, or a week. And we had the radio. We always used to hear the Germans saying, what was Achtung, Achtung, Amerikanische Luftwaffe coming. That meant American airplanes were coming over. And we used to see the American planes going over to bomb them. They were in the hills there. We used to see them, the Americans going to Monte Cassino, shooting the shells and everything else like that from where we were. Because the Americans were stopped at Monte Cassino, and this is the line where Monte Cassino was like a fortress or monastery. And we were on this side. This is the beach over here, and we landed at that beach, and we were stuck in the beach. We were in a 7-mile area. 7 miles in, I think was about 10 miles wide, something like that.
Tell me a little bit about that.
That's the area that's what they call the Anzio beachhead, that a mistake the Americans made. They wanted to cut off Monte Cassino, and we got stuck with the canyons, with the guns in the hills. That's why we couldn't move. First, they didn't have enough soldiers to move either.
What was the U.S. response for that? Like, what did you do then? You were stuck?
No, we were stuck there. We had to wait because that was a mistake that they made. Somebody made a mistake on the amount of troops they didn't know there were so many Germans up in the hills. And those guns that were up in the hills, big guns, they just slide them out, shoot at you, and slide them in. The planes couldn't get at them. So that's why they held us up there. And what we were doing then was getting more reinforcements in. The 36th Division, I don't know if they released this or not, was almost everybody was killed there. I think it was the 36th. I have that written down because there were so many dead on the 36th Division. That was the one that went in front of us. And they were foot soldiers, actually. So, I don't know.
You mentioned the Battle of the Bulge. Did you want to say anything about that? Or any other campaign in Europe?
Yeah, well, I'll say, I'm going to read them up. Okay. And I'll tell you after. Okay. Because right now, I don't know, I'm getting blank.
I can read you what I have from your Word documents. I have Central Europe, I have Naples.
Yeah, Naples.
I have Rhineland, Africa.
No, Rhineland, Africa, no.
Where's Rhineland?
Germany.
Okay. Then we have Rome, and then southern France.
Rome, southern France. Well, you went up to Sikirevek. That's above Rome, I think. I have to look that up then. One town. I think we moved into one town above Rome, but I'm not sure. And that's when we all went back to Naples for the landing ships.
Okay. Was there a lot of soldiers that were Latino at that time that you could?
Yes, well, from Puerto Rico. The Puerto Rican, I forgot the regiment. I told you about the regiment that went there. Okay, well, my cousin was a captain for Company D. He died in Marseille, but he didn't die on the war. He died trying to save some girls. The boat turned over, and he was a Company D commander. So I saw him in Rome. No, in Naples when I went back for rations and talked to him. But after that, I was supposed to see him in Marseille, because we went in the invasion. They went in later, much later. Puerto Rican division wasn't a division. I think it was a battalion. They went in to do police work. That's what the Puerto Ricans were doing, in the town. Police
work?
Yeah, when the towns that were occupied, where they would go into towns, put them in. They didn't give them, any responsibilities too much.
Wow.
That I know. But another thing is, I made a lot of friends, Puerto Ricans there, but they used to guard the warehouses, the mayor's office or house or something like that. But they used to take all the cameras. The people had to turn in all their cameras, the civilians. Mm-hmm. cameras and anything that they had. And this is, I don't, yeah, off the tape. I didn't want to say it, but they used to, right.
I think so too. We can go ahead and talk about the invasion of Southern France and what you can remember from that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we'll go ahead and talk about the end of the war. So, what do you remember from Southern France and
Southern France right now, I think I got a blank. I don't know why. But lately, you know, I'm getting blanks even in my names from people that I know right now.
I'm sure. I mean, it's just so many places that you were in Europe.
Yeah.
And it's hard to remember names. But if you want to add any other,
Well, I'm going to get these papers out, and I would be able to remember because I've seen a lot of names of.
you want to do that now? Or,
No, I won't be able to find it.
okay.
Because it's I have my first sergeant. I didn't even know I had his name. He lived in Long Island. I didn't even know he lived in Long Island, New York. And staff sergeants and stuff like that. I think I got some lieutenants that were with us. And then I seen some. I have newspaper clippings of that era time.
I'll probably eventually, probably soon come back and look at all that stuff, and see if we can scan something.
I could, I could give, let you have, and if you want to take it with you and check, maybe you could, what you say, scan it or something.
Sure. Let's jump to when the end of the war was coming, or what you thought about when the war was over, when you found out that the war was over.
Yeah.
Well,
everybody was celebrating. All the GIs.
Did you believe it though?
Yeah, because we knew about the bomb. Once the bomb went off, that was the end of the war. Nobody could have survived that blast.
What did you think about that?
We're all happy. We're wishing that they throw the bomb, and that was in August, I think. And we were all waiting there because already the Germans were finished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, war in Europe.
Yeah, and we were going to go to India to go to Japan. We were going to fight in Japan after that. That I didn't want to go. You know, I said, what the heck, the end of the war, we're going to fight the Japanese. They could, with the bombs that they have, they could kill everybody there. Because India we were thinking, you know, a lot of sickness over there.
Yeah, that was going to be hard.
Yeah, we were staying over there where there was no water. Water
were
was...
Were they preparing you guys for that?
Yeah.
Any kind of training they were?
Not training. They were telling us that.
Instructions.
And we're getting ready to get more different type of equipment. And we knew what they, you know, how they were fighting over there, you know, caves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You couldn't find the Japanese island from island to island. That was
Pacific Theater was hard.
Yeah. And we had read so many stories about it that, but you know, we were tired anyway. We didn't want to go. And
so you heard about the war ending in the Pacific and everybody celebrating?
Everybody started celebrating. I told you that these paintings that were in the castle, we were staying in the castle, and their GIs ripped them up, threw them down, and they were drunk. Everybody was getting drunk.
Nobody got in trouble for that?
No.
How long was it before you got to come home? When after the bomb was dropped?
I think about no more than 3 months. Because see, I don't know if I was transferred from my outfit for a certain reason. Because I was a cook there, and I was what you call a mess sergeant. And I went out with a Russian girl. I'm gonna let you know already. and I got a dose.
A what?
Dose, a clap, whatever they
Okay.
call it, gonorrhea.
Oh, okay.
That
Now
one day, just one day I went out with the girl, the first time,
What luck?
Russian girl, what was she, a Russian girl? Yeah. And so I had to go to the doctor, and I told Captain, and probably that's why I was transferred out to go home. I had the most points also, so I can't actually say if it was that.
You were ready to go home anyway.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, I've talked to other veterans, and they always kind of hesitate to talk about stuff, but I don't know that I would tell you not to be ashamed of anything you did when you were on board, because
Well, I felt ashamed though.
well,
Me,
seriously,
never. I mean, nothing ever happened to me before. All of a sudden, it has to happen at the last days. No, right. I mean that was cured right away.
oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was in only one day. But it was the la vergüenza que uno pasa. And me, and myself. A lot of guys, they don't care. But with me, I felt ashamed. And then they put it on my record.
They did. Well, the military has to document everything.
Yeah, they put it on my record. Sickness, gonorrhea.
I'm sorry to laugh, but
That's that made me, it's,
but you got to go home.
I got,
Because you. It says when I read your records from the medals that you got, you have a World War II Victory Medal. You have an EAME service medal. Do you know what that is? Is that it says ME? Is that how you say it?
what is that?
It's EAME, and that's the name of a medal or the abbreviation of a medal.
European, American, no, I don't know what that is.
Well, that's one of the medals that you got.
Yeah, probably.
You have a good conduct.
I'm supposed to get another medal too.
You have a good conduct medal and you have the Bronze Star. So
Yeah.
it's the good conduct that made you go home early. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, they.
So you were excited about going back to New York City?
I don't think so.
No?
I wasn't. It didn't. I don't know. It didn't do anything on me, and then because the truth is, the girl that I wanted to get married with, I told you she got married, and I had sent her so many checks, money orders, maybe $700, $800 at that time, which was a lot of money. I have I don't know if I showed you the money orders.
Yeah.
All
When her husband finally told you.
well, then they, yeah, he was a owner of a supermarket over there. He was an old man, and he sent me a letter that I shouldn't send her no more money, that she doesn't need it, and that he's married with her.
Okay.
So I didn't write no more, I got hurt. And when I went back, I went to see her right away, naturally. And I asked her, well, what about the money? And she says, I got a ring here. She gave me a ring. And that's all. Then he disappeared.
The husband?
He disappeared with her, yeah.
Oh.
He took her away. He must have found out or something, because for some reason, no, because I saw her twice or three times. As a matter of fact, he went in the house and I'm in there. I had to hide.
Oh.
Geez, that was, I said to myself, what the heck am I doing here? I started to think, this is crazy. So I told her, and I think he took it to California maybe, something. Because he owned a big building over there. It was worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
He owned a supermarket. And it was that her mother sold her.
Yeah, or pretty much she got married because she had to.
Yeah, mother told her,
Economically,
come on, that's right.
money. So you were back. You met up with your family. What were you feeling?
Well, I was running around with other girls, with the one that used to write to me a lot after, which I didn't like her. That's the one I told her to get married. she put on my army jacket and everything, riding a bicycle over there in the Bronx. And I told her not to do that, you know.
How about your brothers and your sister and your father?
Well, my brother, I didn't see him until maybe a month later when he got home. The other one I didn't see either for another month. My sister was there waiting. And, well, what happened was after that, my father sold the house, went to Florida to live, and I had to live in a car because there was no hotels. They were all full. So I went back to the one I didn't want to go. She had an apartment, and I went and stayed with her because I was living in the car with my clothes, and I didn't have much clothes anyway. But I was living in the car. That was the funny thing, living in the car. Park at night in the streets, and then
that's Harry's mom.
Yeah.
Harry's mom. And how soon after did you decide to go to jewelry school?
I think maybe 2 months after I was out, because remember, jewelry school or school used to give you, I think it was $200 a month. They paid you schooling and $200 a month. I used to give for my son then. I used to give him $50 a month, and kept the rest while I went to school. Then going to school in the daytime, I got a nighttime job with UPS. And I worked with UPS maybe 6 months, but then I couldn't, you know, that was too much for me. Daytime and nighttime.
How did you like jewelry school?
Well, I liked it because that's what I became a jeweler. I used to, at first, it was watch repairing was first. And I learned a little bit how to do watches, repair them and case them. I started to case watches. You know, when you say case them, you buy the movements and you put in the Swiss movements and you put them in a case, put the bracelet and everything else. So I used to sell a lot. I made quite a few pennies on them. That was my idea.
Okay, we're talking about jewelry school. You just mentioned the GI Bill and how that was really good because it gave you an opportunity to go to school.
Right.
But you just mentioned about you wanted to study
Diplomat.
to be a diplomat.
Because I wanted to go back to Europe. I knew there was a lot of money to be made over there. But I hadn't finished high school. So I would have had to go back to, you know, to high school, and it didn't pay for me. So I went to the jewelry school, which was better for me after I found out.
And all this time you were still with Harry's mom?
I don't think I was with her. No, because she got pregnant and she had her own apartment. I got a place for myself after, and I didn't live with her. Okay. But I used to give her the $50 a month that the government used to give me.
So you were did you have your own little businesses, or were you working for different jewelers?
No, I was doing my work in the school, and I used to sell to privates watches. Then after I started, you know, selling rings, then I got selling everything, making up jewelry.
How's your social life now that you had gone to jewelry school and had set up your life again? Did you start going out to dancing?
Oh yeah.
You mentioned being I don't know if it was you or a relative, the president of
Social Club Gardenia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was you?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
I was the president of the social club, Puerto Rican Social Club Gardenia. It was all Spanish people.
Okay.
And we used to make trips to go different places, maybe to Washington, D.C. or like that, dances. And my wife
That's where you met her?
No. She went. She was a member, but I never saw her.
Oh, okay.
She heard about it, and then we found out that I was president of the social, because I had left it after. I was getting too, too popular. With when I say too popular, I've had a lot of business going back and forth. I used to go to Puerto Rico back and forth.
With your jewelry business?
Yeah.
So you kept traveling to Puerto Rico anyway?
Yeah. I started to travel, and after that I got married with somebody else.
Okay.
What
year was that? Do you remember?
That was 19... Roughly, I don't remember. Let's see. That was 1950, about 1949, 48, around there. 49 or 48. Yeah.
Did that last?
Last 13 years.
Wow. No children from her?
She had one, and it died when it was born. Okay. Se estranguló cuando nació. We weren't getting along too good. I bought her a business, and she wasn't that intelligent. And she was very jealous. Every time she used to say she saw me with this one or with her girlfriend, mostly her girlfriend. I never even went out with her girlfriend. But she said she saw me and accused me of her. One time she wanted to kill me. She got a knife after me because she was so jealous. Because she ripped the car. I had a convertible when I was going out with her, and she ripped the whole top and everything else because she caught me with another girl in the car. She moved in that same block where the other girl lived, and I didn't know it.
Oops.
I used to go out. I was crazy. I was young.
Tell me about some good times in New York. Dancing and...
Dancing.
You got into dancing then, right?
Yeah, I used to go to the nightclubs.
With friends or relatives?
Friends. And I used to go dancing. I used to go ice skating, roller skating, bicycle riding. What else did I used to do? Well, I used to have a car, so I always had a car afterward once I got out of the service, yeah.
Any wild story you want to tell us from living the life in New York?
Living the life of New York. There's wild stories from here to New York. Of all people, people that everybody knew used to go with me to New York. Yes, there was a lot.
I know you had a group of friends. Well, let's talk a little bit. You met your wife and...
On a blind date.
Really? Nivea?
Yeah.
On a blind date? I
was married to the other one.
But separated? No?
No, I wasn't separated. But I don't know. I knew that I would have to, I wasn't happy. Not that she was bad or anything like that.
You were just not happy?
It wasn't my type of a woman. Intelligent, you had to be intelligent. She wasn't.
You met Nivea?
Huh?
You met Nivea and?
Well, I met Nivea on a blind date with a friend of mine that he used to own the men's clothing stores here, the most famous clothing stores. He had a lot of them here. As a matter of fact, they're still here. He died, so. And we used to go out together to New York, to different places, and everybody used to go look for me to go to New York, to go to the nightclubs from here. Used to go here to nightclubs too. Mm-hmm. So I had the cream of the crop of people that were multimillionaires here. Mm-hmm. They used to take me out and they pay everything. And I used to sell jewelry to them. So I was doing very good.
You enjoyed your business, your life as a jeweler, that profession, you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it very much, yeah.
So you married Nivea in 1964? That's the date I have.
Yeah, then that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
And you guys decided, when did you decide to move back to Puerto Rico?
Well, 2 years, we were married 2 years, I think, when I told a brother, kidding, I says, if you find, because he told me about the house, they just bought a house over here. The other one told me he bought one too. I said, oh, go buy me one. Call me up and I'll send you the money to put it down. So they called me up, but they got this one here for me. So I sent them the money, the down payment, I think it was $1,500. And I bought the house. And then after I bought it, I come down here maybe 2 months later. That was in 1978, 72, 70, 76.
Yeah, because Monique was born in New York City still.
Yeah, she was born in New York. So that's when we bought the house. I bought the house, and then I bought the front. There was a ship strike, and the furniture couldn't come down here. And I had a Mustang. I bought a Mustang in New York, and I had that in a pier. So there was a strike, ship strike. So I had to buy furniture here because ours was in the pier, in New York. And I had to buy another car. But as I said, I was doing very good because I was a jeweler and I had all these connections here. Matter of fact, I put up jewelry stores with different people and they made money.
How did your life change from New York City to Puerto Rico?
Well, I liked it.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Why? Everybody used to look for me. Everybody, I had a lot of friends, people in lawyers and judges and stuff like that were very good friends of mine. I had left, I closed myself in the last 10 years was that I left everybody. When my wife went to study medicine, yeah.
Do you want to talk to us a little bit about your wife, Nivea? Maybe just a little bit about her.
Well, what could I say about her?
Is she the happiest you've been? The happiest?
Well, yes, naturally. Yeah.
Well, I just want you to maybe say a few words about Nivea and about Michelle, your daughter.
Well, Nivea had Michelle. Naturally, it was. And, well, Michelle went to school, to the private school here all the time. She was a good student. And Nivea went back to school because she went, as I told you, I don't know if she told you, she went to Spain with her cousin. No, Nivea.
Nivea.
Yeah, and cousin was studying medicine. But she didn't have enough money, or couldn't afford it to go. Anyway, but she in New York. She was going to school, making up different credits, and that's why she was a biologist here. She graduated, and first 6 months that we come to Puerto Rico, she didn't work. She worked. She worked free, so she could get a job in the School of Medicine, I think it was. I don't remember. So, since I was doing good, to me the money didn't mean nothing at that time. And then after I didn't know she wanted to study medicine. Otherwise, I had the money to send her to study medicine in Spain easy, but I wasn't going to stay alone here.
Yeah.
Because I know she wouldn't see me no more. Yeah, because everybody was chasing me then. All
your friends?
Yeah, the friends, and they all went out with different. I didn't go out with anybody. After I got married with Nivea, I didn't go out with anybody. But they used to go out, and I used to have to keep quiet. Whatever they did, their wives used to look at me. They used to hate me sometimes. Because some of the guys disappeared for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. In the States, they used to go, or we used to go to South America.
Wow. One
of them had a boat, a yacht. We used to travel in yacht, and guys they drink a lot, I didn't drink. And they used to go with a glass of whiskey or something to the other yacht, they jump in the water with the glass holding up, and they go bring it to the other guy. It was all crazy stuff. Yeah. And I took up how to be a seaman in Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't, go crazy and buy a boat or something.
How was the transition from New York City to Puerto Rico with the language? And
No problem.
no problem.
No problem.
Picked it up quick,
Right away.
as quick as you picked up German.
I picked it up faster
Because of your
because,
family.
yeah,
And Evia.
and Nevia and family, all my family were Puerto Ricans. I just had my grandmother die last week.
Yeah.
She was 97 years old.
You have some good genes there. Anything else you want to tell us about Nevia or your daughter or maybe your grandkids?
Well, my daughter went to school here to Sagrado Corazon. She was a student. And she went to FIT in New York, which is
The
a
Fashion Institute.
fashion institute of,
Uh-huh.
and she
Fashion Institute of Technology.
technology. That's a very good school for decorations, jewelry. Mostly everyone that goes there to that school, they come out as executives after they get jobs.
How about your grandkids? You want to say something about your grandkids?
There's nothing to say. They're crazy.
There's a lot of them. They're beautiful kids, you know that?
Yeah. There's one, the oldest one is very intelligent. He's grown fast though.
Do you ever talk to anybody about your experience in war?
Down here? No.
Did you ever talk about it to your friends or anybody?
Once in a while, yeah, little things mentioned. Or at the hospital, VA hospital, sometimes you get to somebody else, you make friends with somebody there, and then you tell them where you were. Because mostly, you don't see any that were from New York at that time, in the service.
Yeah.
They all went to Vietnam or Korea. Because those were volunteers, after the World War II.
What was maybe the biggest lesson that the war taught you?
The biggest lesson? No, you had to work.
You had to work?
Work. You had to work to get ahead, study. You had to look for, how to save money, there's a lot of things that teach you, because you learn about antiques, stuff like that, how to save coins, how to save this. I save a lot of coins, collections, and I used to have a stamp collection, but since somebody went and borrowed them from me and then they disappeared, I let that go.
Is there any feelings like that the war left you? Fear is a pretty, it's a pretty just broad word. Any feelings that you were left with after the war?
No, because to me, going into the service was one of the greatest things that I did and that I learned. I learned a lot, and I'm happy that I went into the service. First, that I served my country, but second, that I learned how to live. Because before it was like an uphill battle. Went to work in cheap places, a book binding company they pay just the minimum salary. The other way, I learned how to live a little better. That you need schooling too also, because you do need schooling.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Deliz, the last thing I just want is that you give us a message for future generations, or the youth of today. Anything that you want to say?
Oh, I'll give you some after. Okay, I'll think of some good ones, because the youth of today is out of this world. Something's wrong. And they have to learn how to live and let other people live. because they think that, you know, to have cars, to have to get all of that, you got to really fight for it. Not the way to get it the way a lot of them want to get it. And I don't know, this the United States is doing wrong something with letting all these here what do you call, Dominicans and stuff coming in here like that. That they're ruining the country. Puerto Rico, they would ruin it because they want to live their way like they do down there. I used to go a lot to Santo Domingo, so I know
how things are over there.
Yeah, and they come here and they want more. Remember, every time some group comes here, they're taking over jobs from the Americans. I think there's enough Americans in the United States because we're going to still have, I mean, the woman's still going to have kids, and they got to live, they got to study.
Okay, well, is there anything else you want to add that we can get on tape right now?
No.
I think this is,
Yeah.
I think the interview went well. I want to thank you again for giving us your time. This is...
Jeez, I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
You're supposed to go back. You got to go back, and Navy hasn't come.
Oh, we'll work that out, don't worry. But anyway, I just want to thank you for your time. Let you know that the director for the project is very excited. She has been emailing me about, she's waiting for this interview to get up there because it's the first interview that's done on a Puerto Riqueño, and she wants to put it in the newspaper for the semester. So I'll let you know about that. But other than that, I just want to thank you for your time, and sinceramente mil gracias. I appreciate that you've shared all of this with us, and more than anything, the knowledge that you're giving to future generations is so amazing, and what you've given to me as a person is also just a very great experience, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Dios lo bendiga.
Igual.